Hi friends, I made a Binding of Isaac Wordle clone where you can guess a different item every single day. In this video, I showcase the thought process behind Isaacle and some of the challenges that I tackled along the way. Enjoy! We've all heard of Wordle, the simple yet addictive game where you guess a 5-letter word within 6 tries. The hook? There's a new word every day, leaving you always wanting more. It has quickly evolved into a social phenomenon with popular streamers like Northern Lion and Ludwig playing variants of these daily games live on their streams. They got one for Pokemon, League of Legends, Minecraft mobs. There's even one for guessing Costco prices. Costco prices! It's pretty fun, by the way. But the question is, where is the Wordle clone for the best roguelike ever made, The Binding of Isaac? Fear not, it's finally here. Whoa, wait a minute. Why did I even make Isaacle in the first place? Sure, I love The Binding of Isaac. It's a great game after all, and definitely deserves its own Wordle. But there's something more important missing here. Oh right, my YouTube channel. I started a brand new YouTube channel in 2024. If you're watching this during then, hi. And I wanted a way to grow my channel. One option, I could just post daily content on me playing Isaac every day and hope that I pop off eventually. But that growth is slow. I wanted something faster. I took a look at different YouTubers to see how they grew. I stumbled across this interesting YouTuber called Another Matt Playing Isaac. He only started 6 months ago and has already got collabs with some of the biggest Isaac streamers already, such as Lazy Matman and Huts. He made interesting Isaac trivia videos that caught people's attention. Maybe I could do something similar? I remembered all my favorite streamers playing these daily games. Maybe if one of them saw my game and played it on stream, I could get a boost in subscribers. I also spent 5 years of my life grinding for a computer science degree, so I might as well put it to good use. Okay, that's enough of me yapping about my YouTube channel. Here's how I made Isaacle. First off, I wanted some help. I've never really done something like this before. I wanted someone to bounce ideas off of. So I enlisted the help of my friend. He's also a programmer and plays Isaac, so he met my requirements. Next, I needed to figure out the name. Fun fact, originally I wanted to go with the name Isaacle, but my friend suggested the name Isaacle. He felt that it rolled off the tongue better. Now that I think back on it, he's definitely right. And so, Isaacle.net was born. Let's talk a bit more about the gameplay loop. In Wordle, you guess a new word every day. For Isaacle, instead of guessing words, you're supposed to guess an item from the game, and the item changes every 24 hours. We also need to consider how the player narrows down their guesses. In Wordle, after every guess, each letter is assigned a color, indicating the accuracy of the letter when compared to the answer of the day, with green meaning a correct letter in the correct place, and yellow indicating a correct letter but in the wrong place. For Isaacle, we would have to divide items into different categories to achieve a similar effect. A green category represents a perfect match between the guessed item and the daily answer. A red category means that it is completely wrong. And finally, a yellow category indicates that only some values in the category belong in the daily answer. For example, consider if the daily item was the inner eye. It's a quality 2 passive item and belongs to the item room item pool. Now, let's say you guessed Blood of the Martyr, a quality 3 passive item belonging to both the item room and angel room item pools. The categories that don't match are marked red, correct ones are marked green, and those with some intersections, in this case sharing the item room item pool, are marked yellow. And that brings us to determining the categories themselves. Some of these were no-brainers, such as item quality, which can only range from 0 to 4, item type, which is either passive or active, and release date, so whether or not the item came out during Rebirth, Afterbirth Plus, or Repentance. Unlock methods and item pools were also relatively simple categories to assign to each item. The hardest category, however, was assigning modifiers to every item. And there are a lot of wacky modifiers in Isaac. Most items in the game affect Isaac's stats, whether it be a damage up, tears up, or HP up, which is relatively simple to assign for. But what about some more interesting items? Think about the item Gnawed Leaf. It gives Isaac invincibility after not moving for a few seconds. Now, this doesn't affect Isaac's stats in any way whatsoever, So we can't use any of our existing modifiers. So should I be adding a new modifier for invincibility? I guess so, or else I won't be able to describe the item in an effective manner to the player. There's also a couple other items that grant invincibility too, such as Breath of Life or the Book of Invincibility, so we can use this modifier in different places too. Now, here's the dilemma I face. How many modifiers are too many modifiers? If I made a unique modifier for every item interaction, the category would be useless to the player. Also, modifiers are one of the biggest hints for each item, since it describes what each item does. I needed to make sure that this category wasn't too bloated, but would also be helpful to the player guessing. My friend and I tried our best to come up with a way to limit the modifier list. We spent hours trying to figure out the best modifier options, and eventually came up with this list. Honestly, it's still a work in progress, so the list will likely have changed by the time this video is posted. As if the number of different behaving items weren't bad enough, there are also quite a few similar items in Isaac, namely the Nightmare Trio: lunch, dinner, and dessert. These items are all in the same item pool, they all do the same thing, and they all have the same item quality. So how on earth am I, or the player, supposed to differentiate between them? Yes, I added an entire column just for colors to help give these items uniqueness. Okay, that about sums it up for the categories and the general gameplay. It's time for the fun part, the actual building of the website. Now, I don't want to get too into the technical details of web development since it might turn into a lecture, so I'll try to keep it at a high level. But if you'd like to learn more, leave a comment down below to let me know, and I can make a separate video doing a deep dive into the code. But for now, let's jump into the front end. In terms of workload, I handled all the front end visual stuff, while my friend handled the back end, which involved setting up the item list and hosting the website. This is what I initially started with: a simple search bar linked to a small test list of 10 different Isaac items. I took inspiration from both Lodal and Coscodal to create what we now have here with an expandable table with item categories that flip as you guess. Honestly, the flip animation took quite a while to make. One thing that I didn't like about Lodal is that you can have an infinite number of guesses. With Isaac being the fun game that we all know and love, we definitely gotta add in a health bar mechanic to limit the number of guesses. And to give it a bit of extra love, I also took the courtesy of adding in a community favorite song when you win. And eventually, with some more coding magic, we get to where we are today, with a full player and game statistics graph in the results. You can share your player statistics and guessing results with the buttons, and it will copy the info onto your clipboard. There's also a daily timer that counts down to when the next item is released. This daily timer was also quite difficult to make, actually. I basically spent all my spare time developing this website after work, so not bad for a week's work. If there's any bugs, please let me know by joining the Isaacle Discord and complaining. Now that the website looks pretty, you have to figure out a way to incorporate all the item data from the game. Now there's a few options that we considered here. Option 1. Make a giant spreadsheet of all the items and manually type in the details of each item and their categories. Now that's only about 700 rows of work. Probably doable in a day, but also prone to human mistakes. Option 2. Find an API which allows us to call for a list of items and their attributes. An API, or Application Programming Interface, allows us to use code to call a website or other program and retrieve data in a formatted manner. League of Legends has one for champions, and Pokemon has one as well. Isaac, on the other hand, not really, or at least we couldn't find one that would suit our direct needs. That leaves us with option 3, the web scraper. A web scraper is a program used to analyze the HTML code found in websites and can pull data according to predefined tags and conditions. This would save us a bunch of work since we wouldn't have to be typing everything out in the spreadsheet. And you guessed it, we went with option 3. But where do we even get our game data from? There's 2 main sources of truth we use for Isaac items: the Binding of Isaac community wiki and the Platinum God website for quick item lookups. There's also the main game itself, but I have no idea how we could pull data from the game into a readable list. We decided to initially use data from the Platinum God website, since it was formatted better and had less text than the wiki page. One caveat, however, is that the Platinum God website is missing some details for the specific item pools of some items. For example, Guppy's head is said to be found in golden chests on the Platinum God website, but on the wiki, it was said to be removed from the golden chest item pool in the Repentance update. So in the end, we had to do some proofreading to cross-check all the items anyways, but the web scraper did save us a bunch of work. And here it is, the full spreadsheet, after we collected all the data for all 700 plus game items. Only took a couple sleepless nights, and that's how much work we put in so far. For the future, we plan to add more features to the game, such as daily trinkets, characters, and bosses. Maybe we can even do an infinite mode, where you can guess an unlimited number of items and a leaderboard to show the top players. If you're interested in Isaacle development, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for updates. Also, if Northern Lion plays this game on stream, that would make my year. I had a lot of fun working on Isaacle. It forced me to get out of my comfort zone and become a better programmer and YouTuber. Speaking of YouTube, I'll stick to making Isaac content for my channel for now, but I enjoy other games as well, so I might eventually branch off. I'll also consider starting streaming one day if I ever get a stable internet connection. If you made it all the way to the end, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you all have a good 2024. Until the next video.